Hi guys, today I'm going to be doing my final thoughts on who AD is going to be. And I'm really sad to see the show go, as many of you are. Even though I've not been watching it I've watched it for a year and a bit now. And the day I started watching it, I could never stop watching it. And from these 10 episodes that have just come out, I have just thought of how much it means to me, of what they have made, and the community they have brought together, and the things that they've done in this episode that are connecting people. I just think it's so nice to see this show end, hopefully in a nice way. And I'm not going to talk about that, but today I'm going to talk about my final thoughts on who AD is. And I'm going to say my thoughts on who it's going to be and who the show might go with, and then I'm going to tell you what I would in theory want to happen if I could take control of the episode. So keep on watching. So the first clue I'm going to talk about Spencer having a twin is the really popular episode 1 of season 7 of the scene where Hannah got kidnapped by AD and Spencer visited her in the dream to help her get out. And that was the first indicator, like big one, that hold on a minute, that's not Spencer, that's someone else who looks like her. But the other thing was that she didn't have her bangs across her face like the Spencer that we know now does. And that is really that theory all closed up into one with clue number 1. So the second theory I'm going to talk about is when Arya and Spencer visited Dr. Cochran in episode 8 of season 7. And this kind of points out by saying he delivered both of the babies. So one Charlotte and one Spencer. So that kind of indicates, because he said both, he didn't say that there was another one. So there is a possibility that there was a third child later on, to say that there is a twin or a sibling of Spencer and Charlotte, because he said 2 babies, not indicating that he only delivered 2, which I've said before, not 3, because if he said all of them, then that was all of them. If that makes any sense, it's confusing. But in general, that just kind of puts another indicator on there being another sibling of Spencer. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is clue number 3, and this one is a quite recent one that we have seen when Spencer in episode 15 went to see Ren in the airport, and how she didn't have her watch on, she was wearing different clothes. She told Ezra not to tell anyone that she was there, indicating that she didn't want it going back to Spencer, the real Spencer, and her thinking, hold on a minute, I was never there. So that kind of just indicates again that there is another twin out there or sibling, and that they were waiting to find Mary Drakes at the airport, and how Ren was she was being very sketchy with Ren, not acting like herself, and how when she spotted Ezra, she kind of realised, walked away from Ren, acting like she'd never met him, and kind of introduced him to Ezra as a fresh, so like a new person, which doesn't make a lot of sense, but there's kind of more evidence building up to this theory about it, how Ren was shady as well around there, and a couple of things stand out. So if I keep looking down there, it's just because I've got some notes again, and how she was walking through the Lost Woods Resort before that with a different pair of clothes on, and how she can go like an hour gap between changing clothes, forgetting her bracelet and watch to go meet someone up when you just wear the same outfit. So that kind of indicates that there is another twin out there. So the fifth clue I'm going to talk about is the scene where the dream sequence where Spencer was in Radley in episode 5 of season 6 with Maddie Zingler, and how a young girl was dancing in Radley. She hasn't been and hasn't been explained, and she looks very similar to Spencer, not as in looks as in Maddie Zingler herself. The way she was acting looked very similar to how Spencer's twin maybe would act, and how that Spencer got like the smart type of things and she's more sensible, and then the twin is a bit more like immature, and that she would be dancing around on the tables. And either way, really, you never know. Spencer might have died when she got shot and then got replaced by her twin without anyone knowing, which is another clue as well to do with the twins. So clue number 6, which I have found or heard myself, is that Marlene King got asked the question, is there going to be twins in the upcoming episodes? And she says that we have already given away one set of twins, which was Jessica and Mary. And that indicates that if there was only them set, she would have said, we've already said the twins, not both, we've only gave away one of them, not just them. So that indicates that there is another set of twins out there, no matter who it's from. It could be from anyone, but it's another set of twins. So clue number 7 is that Mary Drake, suspicious choice of words when she and Hannah was in the car driving back from when Hannah got abducted by AD, and she says that many families have secrets, most families really, and sometimes those secrets are actually people, which indicates that there is another person out there, which can also indicate that she was on about Spencer, but is also indicating that she is on about another person in her life. Which, now think about it, I think it personally means that it was Spencer she was talking about, because by that point she didn't actually, none of the liars knew that Mary was Spencer's mum, which kind of now makes a lot more sense. So the final theory I'm going to talk about is Bethany Young's face, basically, and how she is a key part of Pretty Little Liars, and that and the storyline basically, and how we've only seen her when she was younger in Radley with Charles, and we have no idea what she looks like growing up. So maybe that is Spencer's twin. Bethany is Spencer's twin, and isn't identical but looks similar, like to Spencer, or is just related to Spencer. And there was a time that Tyler Blackburn told a source saying that viewers have told a source that the viewers have seen and kind of met Uber A, which really makes perfect sense of a twin is all coincidental, like it couldn't be all coincidental that we have already seen the twin or AD, which we have seen we've seen Bethany Young as a kid, so that doesn't cross her off the list, because say if you made a massive list of who you've seen, it will be a long list and half of them you can't narrow off. So you kind of just need to really think back of who we haven't seen much and have only seen once or twice, and to go back to how Bethany Young is a key part of Pretty Little Liars, it makes a lot of sense. So finally, I forgot to mention who I ideally would want to be AD. I personally would want it to be Ezra, because ever since season 1, I always knew he was very sketchy and mysterious and didn't know what he was up to. And now, how come he was taking so many business trips at the same time Nicole was away and all of them things were happening, which kind of makes a bit more sense now. And also, the way he wrote that book and Arya trusted him and he was pretending not to know her kind of makes it even more suspicious. And when he helped out AD or A for a short period of time, I wasn't really shocked because I already knew that he was quite a sketchy person and that he had something to hide. So I personally would like it to be Ezra. And I know not many people would because they love the character Ezra. And I like Ian Harding himself, but the character and Ian Harding mixed in, I'm not a fan of. And I think that it would be quite a good way to find out who AD is, and think everyone trusted him and now he turned out to be AD, because as you know he's not been very involved with the AD board game situation as much as Caleb has, so that kind of just indicates that he's been busy working on the game and not actually helping the lawyers figure it out. So really that's all I have to say about my dream way of finding out who AD is or who I would like to be AD is. It's up to you what you want to think, but personally I believe I would like it to be Ezra. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed today's video. Again, I will be live streaming or recording my reaction with my friends tomorrow, which will be for when it comes out for me tomorrow night. I'll be watching it because at the moment it's Tuesday when I'm filming it in the UK, and it comes out Tuesday night for them in America, so we're a bit behind. So I will be filming my reaction and I'll be posting it up on my YouTube channel, the same as this video and every other video. So I hope you enjoyed. Like and subscribe. Comment down below what you want to see next or any theories that you've heard or seen. This will be one of the last theory videos. This will be one of the last theory videos of PLL because it's ending. I can't say how much I love this show. Thank you to all the creators and directors and cast and actors and actresses and everyone that has worked on this show for 7 years. Even though I haven't watched it for 7 years, I can't imagine how anxious you would be each week to wait for each episode. Because I remember when I watched when me and my friend were waiting for the last 10 episodes to come out of PLL for season 7, we were literally melting because we were so excited and couldn't wait any longer. So I think just well done to the people that waited, because I couldn't do it. And I really enjoyed this show. Thank you so much, and I will see you next time. Bye!